Game double tap, everyone. Welcome back to D&D Story. D&D Story RPG Choices game. Thank you very much. I made it. Congratulations to me. I'm actually getting it right. Thank you very much, everyone. I thought we'd start off with a little music from the game's own built-in soundtrack, which is quite delightful. Underneath that is MyNoise, and underneath that is another little new noisemaker with a wonderful thunderstorm going, setting the mood for our classic adventure into swords and sorcery, mages and knights, demons, summoners, and wicked creatures from all types. We are ready to again plunge into the story of A Wizard's Choice, where we are currently delving through the depths of a very dangerous castle that my particular friend and the very friendly knight and subsequent blower of the bowels, the bellows of the person, and me, the snarky wizard, are again seeking to escape this dangerous castle. Last time, we were going quite well, and we rescued a merchant's daughter whose family has been ruthlessly assaulted by the cult of this particular castle. We are going to attempt to save her as best we can, while also doing our very best to get as high a score as possible. We've never completed this first chapter in the Wizard's Choice story, though we briefly started chapter 2 of this storyline. We will attempt to complete it this time and see how we do. Either way it goes, we're going to try to get through as much as possible. If we need to restart from certain save points, we will do so, but we will definitely try to complete the adventure today. And then, of course, we will start with the continual process of the next chapter. I don't see a reason to restart the second chapter again, but I will give you some references of where to catch the first part of the chapter 2. And of course, what I might do is go back and organize the chapters so that they're a little easier to kind of understand. And yes, the time references and numbers are going to be correct, but it might be a little confusing. So, because I've done some recordings in the past and some currently now. But thank you very much to MyNoise again, and thank you all for keeping us at a good solid 68 subscribers and growing. Very excited. We have our noisemakers, we have our screaming goat, we have our multi-sound maker, we have our new ambient sound maker. We actually have 2 new ambient sound makers, which will give us some delightful intermission music, and some storm and white noise and some other cool effects. We have coffee, and it is Sunday filming this, so we're quite chill and relaxed. We had a wonderful day yesterday. We're having a great, productive morning today. So let's be about it and go ahead and melt into our character and our adventure, The Wizard's Choice. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Tap to begin your adventure. Tap to begin your adventure. D&D Story RPG. Life, 9, mana, 12, gold, 440, morale, 13, dim. Game stats.
All right, last time I think we were doing quite good.
You wait until Reginald begins snoring before you pull your spell out of your backpack. Reginald takes it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder, you light a single candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through provides a sword of familiar comfort. A comfort you are grateful. Audio editing. Volume 100. Speaking rate 99. 65%. 60%. Text selection. Lines. Words. You wait until Reginald begins snoring before you pull your spellbook out of your backpack. Reginald hates it when you study magic while you are supposed to be keeping watch, but you need something to distract you from the cold. With flint and tinder, you light a single candle to read by. The arcane text that you have read 1,000 times over, but differently each pass through, provides a sort of familiar comfort, a comfort you are grateful for in this dark forest. Soon you are lost in study. After some time, you can never keep track of time when immersed in magical lore. You exclaim, yes.
All right, so we were doing some studying. Got the little storm sound in the background. All right. Little sound of us studying. All Alright, so just making some adjustments to my ambience. Alright, we're doing good. Alright, let's continue on with our adventure and see how we do here.
Danger? Reginald rolls over his eye slits. He is only half awake. I understand invisibility. I can turn invisible. At last. This spell has eluded me for so long. At least I think I understand. You say as you point down at the arcane symbols in your book. Go to sleep. Reginald slurs, and then his head falls back to the ground. This is Goblin Country, and I am on watch. I dare not sleep, you say, but Reginald does not hear you. He is snoring again. It turns out that you are not so vigilant after all. At some point as you gaze at the candle flame, you fall asleep. Continue. Button.
Alright.
Continue.
Let's go ahead and continue.
Continue. Life, 9, mana, 12, gold, 440, morale, 13, dim. Awaken, someone is near, Reginald whispers as he shakes you. You sit up groggily. It is early morning. At first all you hear are singing birds. Then, sure enough, voices trickling through the trees.
Alright, so it looks like we are in the daytime. Let's go ahead and alter our sound effects here. Oops, I moved the music. There's our birds.
Not goblins. Not in the daytime, you think. They approach upon the trail, Siva says, huddling in her blanket.
I don't remember starting from this part. It feels like we're in a different spot here. Oh well, I don't remember where we left off. I do, maybe we escaped the castle, that's what it is.
Awaken, someone is near. You sit up groggily. Not goblins. Not in the daytime, you think. They approach upon the trail, Siva says, huddling in her blanket. To the trail then, but keep quiet, says Reginald. Why? Why not stay still and let them pass? Asks Siva.
Okay.
Because we are adventurers, you whisper fiercely as you gather your backpack. Refusing to be left by herself, Siva follows as you creep up to the edge of the trail. Thank the gods she is not sniffling or otherwise making a racket. You have just taken up your position in the brush when you see the first of a column of priests of Neril.
Okay. I don't know if we started from a save point, but I do remember this part, but do we have a death currently right now at this point?
Awaken, some life, 9, mana, 12, gold, 440, morale, 13, dim. Games, go back to previous, life, 9, mana, 12, gold, 440, morale, 13, dim. Game stats.
Game stats.
Awaken, some, life, 9, awaken, some, life, 9, go back to previous choices. Show game menu, button. Go back to previous choices,
Previous
button.
choices? No.
Show game menu, button.
Let's see where we are.
Show game menu. Back button. Game menu. Get more coins and luck. Ellipsis. Purchase premium. Remove ads. Button. Restore purchases. Button. Ring city map. Button. Sync across devices. This will keep all story progress. Achieve. Switch button. On. Game sound effects. Button. Switch button. On. Show already found achievements. Some people like to see where all. Switch button. Off. Double tap to toggle setting.
Show already found achievements. I don't remember this one.
Show. Switch button. Off. Show already found achievements. Some people like to see where all the achievements are hiding. Some don't. Ellipsis. Which kind of person are you? Button.
I don't mind being surprised.
Switch button. Off. About. Button. Facebook. Button.
Alright,
About.
I think we're fine. We'll just
Remove. Purchase premium. Get more. Game menu. Back button.
we'll just
Back
stay
button.
where we are. I don't recall where we were last time. It's been a while since we played, so we'll just pick up here where we left off and try to complete this.
Or we could follow, and perhaps they will notice us following them. Or, what do you say?
All right, so now we need to figure out what to do with these priests. I think this is where we left off before, but again, I can't remember. I played this game so many times on this part, so we'll just go with it.
Ambush them. Button.
All right, I think I remember this part. This is the part where you can lose really fast. I think we did this and we lost.
Follow them. Button. Vertical scroll bar. 5. Follow them. Ambush them. What do you say? Ambush them. Button. Follow them. Button.
All right, so I think we remember if you ambush them, you lose. What we're going to do is we're just going to follow them.
Ambush them. Button. Follow them. Button.
We're going to follow them.
Vertical scroll bar. Follow them. Button. Follow them. Life. 9. Mana. 12. Gold. 440. Morale. 13. Dim. Why is our once demure, frightened merchant's daughter suddenly wishing to play the role of a bloodthirsty battle tactician? You wonder. Dear Siba, we will mete out justice to these villains for the death of your father among other countless evil deeds in due time. You are not trained in the art of war as Reginald and I are. Even if we set a successful ambush, their numbers are simply too great for 2 men. There are 3 of us, Siba says fiercely as she thrusts out her palm. A blade for me? Certainly adventurers have more weapons than they need.
Okay. Well, at least we made a good decision so far.
Reginald shrugs, unbuckles a dagger belt, and hands it to her. Even if they scurry off to a fortification of some kind, we will take them. I have the trust of the captain of the guard of Ring City. He will not suffer evil so close, says Reginald. The 3 of you set off after the priests while keeping a good distance away, outside most of the time. Luckily, their party is so noisy that tracking them is trivial. After a few hours, your quarry leaves the trail and hikes over a field. You now have to follow a bit closer in order to not lose them.
Okay, now it's getting a little tougher.
Soon, they stop on a hill with a large slab of granite at the top. They set the unicorn down on this slab and surround it. They begin chanting. The chant is in Infernal, but you can only make out a few words from here. They are chanting a prayer, you think. Something about forgiveness. I am no Nerulean priest, but I do not think this bodes well for the unicorn, says Reginald. They mean to sacrifice him, Siba says.
Okay.
The unicorn is a him? Reginald asks. Yes, I observed his, or when they carried him by our hiding spot, Siba responds. Irrelevant, you say in exasperation. Our enemies stand in the open and on high ground. We cannot approach unnoticed. Allow me to lure them to you, to the forest edge. I shall play the part of the frightened, lost girl. They will be overjoyed to recapture what they lost. You can then attack from your hiding places, says Siba.
What do we think about that plan? It still sounds very shaky.
No, my lady. They may harm you, says Reginald. I will disembowel them, she says, brandishing the dagger Reginald lent her. I understand your anger for what they did to your father, but do not die a fool, says Reginald. A fool, am I? Siba asks. Her face is such a visage of malice that you and Reginald both take a step back. Reginald stutters. Perhaps stealth would serve us better, you interject. I might turn invisible, creep into their midst, and cut the unicorn free.
That seems like a better idea.
My friend, surely your powers are best spent spewing forth gouts of deadly fire, not sneaking about like a rat. Fire and steel, simple and effective, says Reginald. What do you do?
All right. Even though Reginald is contradicting himself, I mean, there's only 2 of us and a lot of them, and they have the high ground, and they have the higher superior numbers.
Use fire and steel, mana 6, button. Turn invisible, mana 4, button.
I think we're going to try the invisibility approach first.
Use Siba's bait, button.
No.
Use Siba's bait, turn invisible, mana 4, button.
Let's go for the turn invisible.
Turn invisible, mana 4, life, 9, mana, 8, gold, 440, morale, 14, dim.
I think we got upgrade in morale.
Morale increases 1.
Yay.
Mana decreases 4.
Mana went down a little bit.
Quickly, you cast your spell and creep up the hill. The evil priests are bunched together closely in a circle around the slab of granite, so you have to take care. It is critical that you do not touch anyone because that would break your invisibility illusion. Your spellbook is very explicit about this point.
Okay.
Pass not even like a breeze, for even the wind is felt by man. Become nothing and nothing will know you. You recall the spell instruction saying. One priest shifts to one side, and you have enough room to pass without so much as brushing their long sleeves.
That's important. Let's do this.
Although you have avoided touching anyone, you cannot help making some measure of noise with your footfalls. Fortunately, their chanting deafens them to your passage. Now that you have passed into their inner circle, you can make out their words in the infernal language. We praise you, Ancient One. You are free, servants, slaves to your will. We ask not for mercy. We ask only to serve. Over and over they repeat this. One of the hooded men looks familiar. Belfour, the former. He comes into Ring City to sell his apples every harvest. You know him because he always gets drunk and makes trouble. The guards have learned to keep an eye on him when he has coin in his pocket. You would never have imagined he was mixed up with dark powers, though. A few others look familiar, too, although you can't place them. They must be locals of Ring City.
Yep, looks like the locals are into a cult.
You are now near the unicorn, and you have your dagger out. You have a couple of options. You could simply cut the unicorn free and start the fight, or you could try to scare the priests first.
Sounds like that first does not sound very promising.
What do? Use an illusion. Mana 2. Button.
But an illusion would help to keep them distracted.
Cut the unicorn loose. Button.
Let's create an illusion that's going to drop us out of stealth, and then the fight will start. We're surrounded. Either way, it's going to be an S show.
Use an illusion. Mana 2. Button.
Let's use the illusion. Maybe this illusion will scare them. Here we go.
Use an illusion.
Here goes
Mana 2.
nothing.
Life 9. Mana 8. Gold 440. Morale 14. Dim. Fair enough. Life. Go back to previous choice. Show game. Go back to life 9. Fair enough. You know that you will cast a more realistic illusion if you pick something you have seen before. What do you choose?
Okay, we have another choice. What kind of illusion?
Goblins. Button.
Yeah, goblins wouldn't be able to sneak up on them like this, I don't think, but you never know.
Girl ghost from the castle tower. Button.
That's possible.
Demon from the altar room. Button.
Oh, they would be very distracted by the demon, but maybe they would start worshipping it.
Demon from the altar room. Button.
Let's go with the...
Girl ghost from the castle tower. Demon from the altar room. Button.
Let's go for the demon from the altar room.
Demon from the altar room. Life 9. Mana 6. Gold 440. Morale 20. Dim.
Oh, our morale went up like wild.
Mana decreases 2. Morale increases 6. The image of that shadowy demon is burned into your mind, and so it is reasonably easy to create the illusion of it. Evidently, you do a good job, for as the shadowy horned horror emerges from the stone slab, gasps erupt from the crowd. All of them fall to their knees and kneel down, butts in the air.
Their butts are in the air? One of them goes, "Oh, you loser."
We are your slaves. Unroll. We pledge our souls to your ancient power, the head priest says in Infernal.
None of you have the ability to, like, fizzle my illusion. No, you guys need to get yourself some mages.
In Alathia's name, back to the abyss. Fiend the unicorn says in the common tongue. One large, dark eye staring up at your illusion.
Oh, you silly unicorn. You should be able to see through this illusion.
You nearly shout in surprise. You've never seen a horse talk. His horsey lips do not move about like a human.
His horsey
Rather,
lips?
His mouth simply opens and the words spill out.
His horsey lips? All right, so... okay, let's leave. I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave it.
Fear not, unicorn. You whisper in one of his long ears. It's merely an illusion.
I whisper in his ears is a good way to get kicked. All right, I'm not going to whisper anything in a horse's ears. It makes no sense.
You then cut the unicorn's bonds with your dagger.
Okay, well, at least we're getting everything done here.
The priests still have their faces down in the dirt when the unicorn doors the first of them. Soon there are panic-stricken
holy
screams.
cow. This unicorn is going to town. You go, boy. Let's do this here.
Possessed. He has possessed the beast. Mercy on us, you hear a priest shout as he runs down the hill toward the woods. Several others follow him.
Well, this plan is working out really well. Time for us to start attacking here.
You can hold your illusion and your invisibility no longer.
Here we go. Well, actually, both of these. If we were playing D&D, you probably couldn't pull off an illusion and invisibility because I think they're both channeled. So I think an illusion, well, I don't know. It could be like a cantrip of some kind. I guess you could pull it off.
Trickery, one of the priests shouts. He begins casting a spell, but the unicorn doors him before he finishes it.
Ooh, good job, unicorn. Yes.
Continue. Button.
Okay, let's continue.
Continue.
Well, that
button.
was a perfect plan so far.
Continue. Life 9. Mana 6. Gold 440. Morale 20. Dim.
Okay.
Kill the beast, shouts Lord Egrain from amidst the other priests.
Now we
Spells
gotta
are
deal
cast,
with this
and the air
guy.
fills with hissing. Dark bolts of energy. You duck behind the stone as one sizzles above you.
Now we gotta get rid of this priest. Now we gotta figure out the best plan to kill this priest.
Peeking over the stone, you see several dark bolts strike the unicorn, and it whinnies in pain.
Okay, we gotta help him.
Most of the remaining priests are so focused on the unicorn that they don't even notice Reginald joining the rear of their fray,
All
swinging his sword
right.
with a grim smile on his face. Somehow, they are oblivious to the butchery behind Dan.
Go, Reginald.
In Meryl's name, die, the Lady Egrain shouts from her father's side as she sends forth a crackling ray into the side of the unicorn's head. The magnificent horse crashes to the ground.
Okay, that's it for our unicorn. We better get her quick.
Behind someone shouts. Now the priests turn their attention to Reginald. He cannot stand against so many.
Time for us to jump in.
You charge, dagger in hand, shouting like a madman.
No dagger. Where's our magic?
With you striking from one side and Reginald on the other, the remnants of the priests scatter. In a flurry of
I
stabs,
guess.
you cut down a final one before he reaches the woods.
Wow, that was easy. I didn't expect us with a knife to do any good. Thank you for that freebie.
A shadow falls across your path, and you whirl about. It's Siba. Her ragged dress is blotched with blood, and the dagger Reginald lent her drips with the gore of a fresh kill. She has a manic smile on her face.
Well, Siba, you are a bit of a psycho, but that's fine. We need you to be that right now.
Revenge. Revenge for my captivity, she exclaims.
Oh, that's right.
She
I
then runs
forgot.
off,
Yeah. Go
presumably
kill.
to hunt down more fleeing priests.
Go kill those priests, Siba. Go for it. We'll help you.
You are considering joining her when you catch a glimpse of Lady Agraine's long, beautiful hair
Oh, we
disappearing
gotta
into the
get
forest
her.
below.
We do need to get rid of this priestess.
Continue. Button.
All right, let's continue.
Continue.
So far, so
Button.
good. The plan is going well.
Continue. Life, 9. Mana, 6. Gold, 440. Morale, 20. Dim. You rush into the woods to investigate. Sitting propped against a fallen log only a few meters away is Lord Agraine. His glassy, lifeless eyes stare down at his entrails spilling out upon his lap. There are symbols drawn in blood on large stones nearby.
Looks like he's dead.
Kneeling beside him is the Lady Agraine. She is searching his pockets. Where is it? She shouts at her father and then slaps his face.
Yeah, that's not very nice, Lady Agraine.
Where is what? You ask as you take a step closer. She looks up at you with surprise, and then she smiles. Gods be praised. You saved me from my cursed father and his minions, she exclaims.
Yeah, right.
Saved you from them? You are a priestess of death, are you not? You ask. You have fantasized about approaching Lady Agraine more times than you can count, but you never expected your first words would be these.
Well, that's how it goes. Fantasies always turn into realities. Yeah, I might have had the hornies for her, but now I see how much of a bloodthirsty person she is. Killing her own father. Good lord.
No, I was but a slave to my father, she says, her face contorted in rage. She then smiles down at the mangled corpse next to her. Now he is gone, and I am free. But we must not dally here. Unral, a monster from another world, stalks nearby. She points at one of the blood symbols scrawled on a nearby rock. The symbol is an infernal.
I don't trust her. I think she's kind of underhanded. Come on, we can't, thinking with the wrong head here.
You look back to see Reginald chasing and hacking priests in the grassy field beyond. Lady Agraine extends her gloved and bloodied hand. Small, glowing orbs appear and circle her fingers. She stares at the orbs, entranced, and says, perhaps with the help of good people, I may find again the light of this world.
Nah, I don't trust her.
WC1Agraine.jpg. Image.
Alright. I don't care about this priestess, but I don't trust her. I think killing her is the best bet.
Snapping out of her meditation, she returns her attention to you and says urgently, quickly, gather your friends and follow me. What do you do?
I do not trust her at all.
Turn to gather your friends. Button. Demand her surrender. Button.
I think we get her surrender. I do not. We'll let the authorities figure this out.
Attack her. Button. Charm her. Mana 3. Button.
Charming her doesn't sound like a good idea.
Charm her. Attack her. Button. Charm her. Mana 3. Button.
Our charm has been effective before.
Attack her. Button. Demand her surrender. Button. Attack. Charm her. Mana 3.
Let's
button.
go for charm. See if this works.
Charm her. Mana 3. Life. 7. Mana. 3. Gold. 440. Morale. 20. Dim. Mana decreases 3. Life decreases 2.
We took some health. No!
You point at the Lady Agraine and recite the magical words interspersed with glowing kisses in the air. Unfortunately, while you're doing this, she's casting a spell of her own, a not-so-kissy one. A dark ray springs from her hand just as you complete your spell. Her aim is poor, but the ray still strikes you in the arm, and you feel cold emanating through you as you sink to the ground.
Great. Bad decision.
Continue. Button.
Alright.
Reward. Seducer. Points. 1. Luck. 2 times 2
Oh, we
bonus
got an
equals 4 total.
achievement.
Star bonk chicka bonk star.
Bow chicka chicka bow wow. Nice achievement. Okay. Well, we're just trying to charm her. That's all we want to do is control her till Reginald gets back, and then we can hack her down.
Reward. Seducer. Points. 1. Luck. 2 times 2 bonus equals 4 total. Star
I
bonk
got
chicka
some
bonk
luck.
star.
I got a nice luck bonus. That's cool.
Reward. Seducer. Point. Continue. Button.
Alright.
You stare in horror and realize that this magic is beyond your understanding. Evil magic. Reginald, after a few seconds of this gods, why? Upon uttering this no, not this the unit. Just then, above on the hill, it is not safe to stay. You take Ziba by the wrist to try to, you shrug and jog out onto the grass.
Alright, let's get back to the top.
Page 1 of 2. Top D&D Story RPG. Boost your stats. Button. Show achievements. Button. Change text size and color. Show game menu.
Why
Button.
am I here?
Go back to previous life. 7. Mana. Morale increases 1.
Okay. I don't know what happened here.
No, she exclaims as she rushes over to you. I am so sorry, my love. Now she is holding you in her arms, cradling your head. She bends down and kisses you. You forget the cold and close your eyes.
Okay, I don't know what happened here. What did we do here?
Morale increases 1.
Something moved forward. I don't know what happened.
Morale increases 1. Life. 7. Mana. 3. Gold. 440. Morale. 21. Dim.
Okay, we went up by
Game stats.
morale, but I think we skipped forward somehow.
Morale increases 1.
Something happened. I don't know what happened. The story moved forward somehow. I didn't move it forward. I was still just listening to the story.
No, she exclaims as she rushes over to you. I am so sorry, my love. Now she is holding you in her arms, cradling your head. She bends down and kisses you. You forget the cold and close your eyes.
Maybe, I don't know. What's going on? Maybe our charm worked. She hit us, but we charmed her.
She might be evil, but her lips are like honey, you think.
Oh, maybe we did charm her. I don't know.
You release yourself to the ecstasy of the moment, but your trance is interrupted by a shout followed by a whomp.
Okay, what's going on?
Reginald stands above you, his sword dripping. Lady Igraine lies nearby, bloody and motionless.
Okay, well, it worked. We charmed her at the last minute. He came in and cut her down.
Reginald, you shout. Gods, are you well? Reginald asks. Did that succubus drain the life from you? I saw her strike you with that death magic and then suck upon you.
Well, I don't know.
I, ellipsis, am alive and my soul intact, you say weakly.
Well, at least we did something to her.
I pray I saved you from any perversions? Reginald asks.
Don't worry about my perversions.
I suffered no, ellipsis, perversions. You mutter sadly as you dare one last glance at the beautiful corpse.
I don't look at corpses.
You stand up and grab Reginald's shoulder for balance. Reginald looks down at the body. Oh, it is the Lady Igraine. I remember how you used to speak of her. I, ellipsis, am sorry.
Oh well.
You smile weakly. We may need a drink tonight. Reginald nods. Siba as well, he says. He points to the girl, who is now running around the grassy hill, crying and tripping in a panic. Only moments ago our little merchant's daughter was dashing about this field wielding that dagger of mine like a bloodthirsty assassin. Now who is she? Is this the way of women?
Let's call it shock, dude.
You shrug and jog out onto the grass. You take Siba by the wrist to try to calm her, but Reginald announces that he will search just a few bodies before fleeing. No use in letting the vultures swallow our treasure, he says cheerfully.
Let's get all this treasure.
It is not safe to stay out in the open. We must not dally, you warn your friend, ignoring Siba's tugs to free herself from your grasp. Just then, above on the hill, the unicorn stands up. His legs are shaking,
alive.
and his eyes are bulging. You thought he was dead. No, not this, the unicorn bellows. He pauses for a moment and then shouts triumphantly, this world is mine.
Oh no, don't tell me you're evil too.
Upon uttering this pronouncement, the unicorn gallops towards the granite slab and proceeds to bash his own head into it. You hear the horn snap with a crack. Blood spatters the white rock as the creature batters his skull over and over.
Okay.
Gods, why? No, Reginald stammers. Siba commences screaming with renewed vigor. After a few seconds of this self-mutilation, the unicorn, with its jagged stub of a horn, turns and charges down the hill toward you. All three of you shout as you run with abandon. When you reach the woods, you look back to see the unicorn thrashing on the grass, screeching in an unearthly tone.
Okay.
Evil magic, Reginald says.
Yeah, probably.
You stare in horror and realize that this magic is beyond your understanding. Motioning for the others to follow you, you say, we have pressed good fortune long enough. Let us return to Ring City in the company of good people.
Yeah, probably a good idea. There's not much we can do for this poor little unicorn. He's probably possessed by a demon. I mean, we could put it out of its misery. That'd be a better choice.
Continue, button.
But let's continue.
Continue. Life, 7, mana, 3, gold, 440, morale, 21, dim. The three of you set off toward Ring City, your beloved home. You and Reginald are grateful to have some company for the lengthy walk. The two of you have long since exhausted your trove of stories and can nearly predict what each other will say. Siba, on the other hand, is full of stories of faraway places, creatures, and magic you've never heard of before. A merchant's daughter must really get around. As it turns out, Siba's family has recently moved to Ring City, and her brother Jordan tends the candle shop there. Nevertheless, she bombards you with questions about the city. She seems to want to know everything from who's who in the noble families down to the local gossip. The time passes quickly. By nightfall, the tall gates of the city rise above you. The guards, typically a suspicious lot, usher the three of you in without hesitation. They have known you and Reginald for years. Reginald was once even a member of the guard.
Okay, we're getting all the story we learned in Chapter 2.
Once inside, you immediately head to your loft. There you rest and apply healing ointments to your wounds. You hide the majority of your loot under your floorboards. By the following evening, you are refreshed and feel stronger and more powerful than ever. You toss a handful of gold coins into your money pouch and meet up with Siba and Reginald at the Leering Virgin Inn for some much-deserved celebration.
Sweet, and this is where we kind of ended up last time.
The three of you feast and drink and tell stories, exaggerated, of course, to the inn regulars and otherwise thoroughly enjoy yourselves. There is no justice. There is no law. There is only power. You quote from the first page of the book bound in human skin that you lifted from the sacrificial altar in Inverness Castle. Sounds just like what a zombie raising. No good. Gorgon's ours would write. Reginald says with slurred speech. The three of you are alone at a table in a corner of the inn, as all the other patrons have grown bored of your boasting and tall tales and have gone to bed. You page through the book. Ha, what's this? You exclaim. This speaks of the Baroness Ireland lying with Sir Roger of Chesterford. Evil gossip. No more, Siba says and then takes a swig of wine. Well, the account seems rather detailed. Ellipsis. You read further. And, ellipsis. Oh, Guildmaster Franz Percales has been skimming gold from the mint. Ellipsis. Melting the coins down and recasting them with more copper. Aha, I thought the coins from the money changer were light. Reginald begins rummaging in his pockets. What is that? A book of dirty secrets? Siba asks, pointing at the book accusingly. Ellipsis. I rather think it is. Why? This silly little book might be worth more than the rest of our loot put together, you say. And you think the Lady Egrain might have been looking for that book, says Reginald. He casts his eyes down to the table. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bring her to mind. You put up your hand to reassure your friend. It is well that I learned to not judge a woman by her face, you say, doing your best to give a convincing shrug. I had heard how Egrain had fallen on hard times. Desperation leads to an evil path. Does it not? Reginald nods vigorously, sloshing his drink. The glassy-eyed expressions on your friends' faces is the last thing you see before you black out.
Alright, I think we know what happens after this. The next chapter, which gets really bad.
When you regain awareness, you are standing over a bed shouting, "No, Reginald, you can't die. Please." You are pushing down on Reginald's neck, attempting to stem the flow of blood. It is no use. He is deathly still on the blood-soaked bed, and there is no pulse. Gods, no, you shout, then run out of the room. You are now in what you recognize as a hallway of the Leering Virgin Inn. You shout for help and look back at him helplessly. From here you can see bloody finger painting on the wall around Reginald, runes and infernal that appear to be some sort of spell used to harvest power from a soul. There are footsteps from behind, and you turn to see a city guard and an old man approaching. Seize that one, the old man croaks as he points at you. He is the murderer.
I think I remember this part. We're already moving into chapter 2 already. Maybe it just continues onward.
To be continued. Ellipsis.
Oh yeah, it was a little bit of a trailer. Okay, to be continued. So now, good folks, we have completed chapter 1 of the Wizard's Choice. I'm glad you all told me to complete it because there was a lot of information I needed to learn. So that's good. We're done with that. So let's go ahead and continue.
There are to be continued. Ellipsis. Dear reader, here is a map of the area of your recent adventure. Don't expect much accuracy. Medieval cartographers did not sweat the details. Also, you can see a more complete map of Ring City and the surrounding area at any time by selecting Ring City Map from the game menu.
Okay.
There's a great deal more adventure ahead, but first go see the stats on your first chapter.
Alright, we're gonna go see the stats in our first chapter. Sounds good.
Show scoreboard. Button. Show scoreboard. Button.
Let's go check out our scoreboard.
Reward. Completed Wizards. Enjoying D&D Story RPG?
Okay, before you advertise, I want to hear our stats.
100% Tinatown. 3 of 3 white. 100% battery power. Not charging.
Okay.
Status bar item.
I really hate screen peek.
Swipe. Enjoying D&D Story RPG? Enjoying D&D Story RPG? Tap a star to rate it on the App Store.
Yeah, we'll do that soon, but can we hear what we did?
Rating. 0 star. Not now. Button.
Please, not now. Can we get to our
Reward.
story?
Completed Wizard's Choice V1. Points. 10. Luck. 4 times 2 bonus equals 8 total. Survive to the end of Wizard's Choice V1.
Alright, volume. It's called a volume, not a chapter. We got that. Let's get our in music. Alright.
Reward. Highest rank for Wizard's Choice V1. Points. 10. Luck. 4 times 2 bonus equals 8 total. Got the highest rank possible for Wizard's Choice V1.
Okay, we got the highest. That's awesome. We got the highest rank. This is amazing. Very good.
Reward. Highest rank for Wizard's Choice V1. Points. 10. Luck. 4 times 2 bonus equals 8 total. Got the highest rank possible for Wizard's Choice V1.
Let's break this box down.
100% battery power. Not charging. Reward. Completed Wizard's Choice V1. Points. 10. Luck. 4 times 2 bonus equals 8 total. Survive to the end of Wizard's Choice V1. Reward. Completed Wizard's Choice V1.
Okay, we got
Points.
that.
Life. 7. Mana. 3. Gold. 440. Morale. 21. Dimmed.
Okay, what
Game
do we
stats.
do now from here? Game stats.
You made it to the end. Well played. In only a few hours, tales of your deeds have spread throughout Ring City. Your total score is 1070, earning you the reputation of Ellipsis.
Okay, what is this ellipse?
Loaded with coin. Slayer of You made it to the end. Well played. In only a few hours, tales of your deeds have spread throughout Ring City. Your total score is 1070, earning you the reputation of Ellipsis.
What does that ellipsis mean?
You made it to the end. Well played.
Okay,
in
that
only a few
ellipsis
hours,
doesn't do anything.
tales of your deeds have spread throughout Ring City. Your total score is 1070, earning you the reputation of Ellipsis. Loaded with coin. Slayer of Evil.
Oh, we're Slayer of Evil. Okay, that's good to know.
The table below shows where you rank.
Okay, there's a table. Nice.
Title. Row 2. Column 1. Table start. 7 rows 2 columns. Score. Column 2. Loaded with coin. Slayer of Evil. Row 3. Column 1.
They have a table here. If only I knew how to turn on table. This would be a time for Marissa to jump in and say, it's time to learn table navigation. All right, I don't think we need this table for now.
900 plus. Wealthy and cunning adventurer. 800 plus. Adventurer. Row 5. 700 plus. Column
Well, at least
2.
we got the highest ranking, so we kind of know already.
Survivor with nice teeth. 600 plus. Wetter of the trousers. Less than 600. Breakdown. New high score. Hey, you survived. Nice. Interactive fiction readers like you are awesome.
Thank you.
Shameless plug. Please aid the future of interactive fiction by giving a good rating.
I will take care of your rating. I always do.
Play next chapter. Button.
All right. Shall we start the next chapter? I guess we might as well.
Replay this chapter. Button. Back to library. Button. Play next chapter. Button.
Let's go ahead and play the next chapter.
Life 12. Mana 7. Gold 1. Morale 8. Dim.
Okay.
Game stat. Night has fallen by the time you reach the district where Gorgon's gang is based. Mala did not know whether the Gorgon
All
would
right,
be here
good.
or
It picked
elsewhere.
up exactly
Up to some
where we
villainy.
left off.
You wonder if it might be wise to come back here in the morning. If Gorgon is like the few thugs and thieves you've known, he is more likely to be asleep at home during the day. However, you dare not delay. Only a few seconds ago, you had a sudden feeling of exposure, as though you were suddenly naked in an empty room with eyes peering in at you.
All right, this is where we left off in the story last time. Let's go ahead and get our ambience set here. And we have nighttime music is still appropriate. Let's get a little different music going here. Nice little fire sound. Sounds like the torches around the city. Torches everywhere at city at night. It seems appropriate. We're doing good, folks. We moved into the previous story, and I guess if you want to know how I got up to this point in Volume 2, I will make sure that you can find that in the playlist. But you will see that Part 2, I played the game in order. And I didn't complete the first volume when I first played through. I didn't complete the first volume. I went to the second volume because I got a little bored with the first volume. But I was encouraged by you all to go back and complete Volume 1, which I have. So if you want to see what I did in Volume 2, that episode is in the playlist. So I'm sorry things are a little bit out of order. But we might as well continue with this part, because this part we've done a lot of work. We even pretended to be a blind man. Oh. A lecherous blind man, of course. But yeah, we got to pretend to be a blind man because that's always fun. But yeah, we've already done some of the story. So basically a synopsis is that we woke up with Reginald slain, and we went to get help from Siba, and unfortunately she was possessed, just like we saw with the priestess who Reginald killed. So Reginald is both dead, as far as we know. Siba is possessed and crazy. We went to go see our friend who is a sex worker in the shady part of town, and she helped us. And of course, because we're such a goody two-shoes, we didn't have sex with her, which makes no sense. We slept in the same bed with her, but we obviously didn't have enough mojo to get the job done or have fun. But I mean, she didn't seem that she would object to it, and we could have even paid her if we just wanted to have some fun, but she knew us as a friend and she was going to give us a freebie, but we decided that we were too goody two-shoes to engage in sexual activity as a consensual adult. So, you know, this is what I always say when characters are so goody two-shoes. Weak sauce, all right? But anyway, we passed on a good opportunity to have some really cool consensual sex, and instead we'd rather go running around in the darkened alleys being chased out of rat body corpse like stinky alleys, and just, you know, we'd rather get out there and do a bunch of undesirable stuff. But anyway, we are currently trying to find, I do believe, a gang member who might be responsible for some of this cultist activity going on. We do know that the ledger that we found off the priestess contains a lot of sensitive information that powerful people don't want everybody to know about. And the ledger was stolen from us, and so we're currently trying to get that back. Meanwhile, we've kind of gone into a clandestine kind of adventure where we've had to buy clothes to hide who we are. We've had to do a lot of subterfuge, a lot of spy kind of stuff. So we've done our own version of medieval Mission Impossible. So we're going to be Ethan Hawke here. So we've done a little Ethan Hawke work here in our city. And we're currently being chased by the authorities. We're being chased by the cultists. We're being chased by, I do believe, assassins, and at the same time, we were pretty lower class in this world. So I do believe our own personal residence was raided by the town guard. In addition to that, we are on the run, and so almost anybody who finds us is going to turn us in. So it's kind of tough times right now. And that is about it. We didn't really get a chance to learn anything new, no new spells. What seems to be our go-to spell is invisibility and illusion. And illusion seems to be a very powerful spell for our wizard. So it's been very successful almost every time we've used it. And of course, we used illusion this last volume and it was very successful. It actually turned the tide. I mean, the story didn't turn out terribly great for the unicorn, but, you know, we can only do what we can do, right? All right, so I don't exactly remember everything I did before, but I got to give the developers a lot of credit for making it so I don't have to go all the way out of the story just to get back into the story. You seamlessly allowed me to go into where I last left off. That deserves applause. That is very, very nice. It is really a refreshing situation for games to have a really easy user interface, and Choices does make that happen. I think it's really nice. Anyway, let's see how far we can sink into this next part, and hopefully we do really well. All right, let's go.
Was I scryed upon? You wonder. The sooner you get that warded ring, the safer you will feel. Boisterous voices of young men erupt ahead of you. This neighborhood is controlled by gangs who are particularly active at night. So far you have managed to avoid others by slipping from shadow to shadow and hiding behind refuse or in dark alleys. Unfortunately, the road you are on now is lined with tightly packed buildings and offers no suitable place to hide, despite being dimly lit and littered with garbage. What do? You can tell there are at least 3 of them. You have a spell that will allow you to climb up the wall like a spider. Even if they look up, they will not be able to follow. On the other hand, perhaps if you show that you are not afraid, they will think better than to bother you. After all, you could be anyone under that hood.
No, that doesn't sound very good. They're not going to be intimidated by a skinny wizard. We're in a spider climb, and subterfuge seems to be the way to go. The way of shadows seems to be effective. So I think we're going to go for climbing up a wall like a spider.
Spider climb spell. Mana 2. Button. Strike forward assertively. Button. Run. Button. Run. Strike. Spider climb spell. Mana 2. Button. Spider climb spell. Mana 2. Life. 12. Mana. 5. Gold. 1. Morale. 9. Dim. Mana decreases 2.
All right, mana went down. Let's get our mana. Our mana decrease sound is... All right, that's our mana decrease sound, and...
Morale increases 1.
Oh, it went up. Morale went up.
You whisper a few arcane words and press your hands against the wall of a building. Your hands seem to almost sink into the bricks. Without delay, you crawl up the side of the building like a spider as fast as you can. Just as you pull yourself over the top of the roof, the young men come around the corner. The lantern lights on the street do not reach up to you very well, and so you feel comfortable peering down at them. There are 3 men, and all of them are carrying weapons at the ready, as though they might engage in melee any moment. 2 have swords and 1 has a nasty-looking spiked club.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have killed me easily.
Gods, this is a tough neighborhood, you think to yourself.
Yeah, no kidding, I would know that.
They are all engaged in some raucous conversation and none look up. After they have gone, you climb down and continue your search for Gorgon's lair, as Mala called it. After a few more close calls with gang patrols, you find what Mala described. The building is much like the others, which is to say old, dirty, and neglected. However, this one has a large blue door with the words "the law" carved into it.
Okay.
Suddenly, you have that naked feeling again and you shiver. I am being scryed upon. Yuxul has found me, you think for a moment. Then you reassure yourself that it is only Nurse. After all, you are standing in front of the door of a killer. You hear a rustle from behind and you spin around. Out from a large pile of trash emerges the head of a giant rat. Its red eyes fix upon you and it sniffs the air. Who be you? It asks in a raspy voice. Your hood is low and you suppose it cannot see your face. The thing stands up and you see that it has the body of a man with a long rat tail.
Oh no. A giant rat that can talk?
Wearer.jpg. Image.
That doesn't sound very pleasant. A giant rat. If you want to look at the picture, it's right there on the screen if you are visually diverse. I'd like them to describe the pictures, but the story describes it well enough. But there's another little bit of extra photographs. I cannot tell you what it looks like because I can't see it. But if you are visually diverse and you want to leave a comment of what it looks like, you can leave a comment and folks enjoy. But for now, I'll just tell you that I do not know what the picture looks like. I assume with my imagination that it's just a giant rat.
Aware of what you realize with the shock. Mala warned you that Gorgon may employ monsters to guard his hideout. From what you understand, wereroots are more cunning than most people, and are fast and thoroughly evil.
Oh, it's a were-rat.
You notice the glint of steel in one of the wereroot's hands. You wonder if you could use an illusion on yourself to impersonate one of Gorgon's thugs. On the other hand, a charm spell might be simpler. Finally, you could just blast the rat with flames. You imagine rats don't like fire, not much does.
Well, he's already got the drop on us, so what I've learned about this game is you never know. So we could charm him, that's going to work, but then we have to kill him anyway. So it's like wasting a lot of extra magic. We can fight him, but then that's going to maybe wake everybody up. And that could alert the 3 thugs below us. So, it's a really tricky situation. And I've never played this, so I don't know. I think the best bet here is to... I do believe... Oh, he hasn't seen our face, though, which is true. I think killing it would be good, but then it could be a lot trickier than we think. Well, I think we got to play subterfuge. I think illusion could be good, but then if we break our illusion, if it does break, we could get skewered.
What do you do? Burn it mana 4, button. Impersonate a thug, mana 2, button.
Only 2. It's only 2 if we impersonate it. Let's go for impersonation. It's a little cheaper mana-wise.
Charm it, mana 3, button.
It did say simplest thing to do was charm it. Okay, let's try to charm. I think it's a bad idea, but let's go for it.
Charm it, mana 3,
Charm
button.
seems to work really well with our class, though.
Charm it, mana 3. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 1, morale, 11, dim. Mana decreases 3. Life decreases 4.
Oh, of course, we lost life. Ouch.
Morale increases 2.
Our morale went up, though.
I am here to see Gorgon, you say as you approach him. I know the wereroot snaps. Else be here? Now, who be ye? A friend, you say as you cast your charm spell. The wereroot bares its teeth in what appears to be a smile. He then strides forward to you and says, "Ah, a good sight you are." There is something off about this situation, but before you can react, the rat man stabs you in the side and bites into your neck. Your mind tricks do not work on me. Fool, it snarls.
Yeah, we should have known better.
You are not very skilled with the blade, but by some miracle, you bring your own dagger up and stab the wereroot deep in the eye. He falls off of you. A few stabs later, you are confident he is dead.
Well, that hurt.
You cut the key from his belt and run to the door, unlock it, and slip inside. The hallway is lit with candles set on small inlays of the stone walls. You stop and listen. There are raised voices up ahead. You creep along the hallway, up to an open doorway. Inside, 2 men appear to be arguing in a language you do not understand. You can see them clearly, thanks to a large fire burning in a fireplace nearby. A naked, bound, and gagged man hangs by his long hair from the rafters above. The naked man is swinging back and forth like a pendulum, thanks to each man absently taking turns shoving him as they continue to argue. One of the arguing men fits Mal's description of Gorgon. Half of his bald head is disfigured by a terrible burn. Gorgon is a large man, wearing thick leather armor. A battle axe is leaning against the wall near him. The other man is muscular with a square face and a large, jutting chin.
We don't even have any magic left. What is our chance of surviving this?
Now what? You wonder. Even if that feeling you had earlier was not from being scryed upon, Yuxul should be able to find you soon. And then there is that dead wereroot out in the alley. How long before that's noticed? On the other hand, it would be nice if you could find an opportunity to confront Gorgon alone, and it might behoove you to wait.
Sure would behoove us to wait.
What do you do? Wait and see, button. Impersonate wereroot, mana 2, button.
We don't have any mana after that.
Blast them mana 4, button.
We don't have 4 mana.
Blast them mana 4, impersonate, wait and see, button.
Let's wait and see, because we just don't have any resources left.
What do, wait and see, button. Wait and see. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 1, morale, 11, dim. You decide to wait. Certainly, they will tire of this argument and go their separate ways, after which, you can take on Gorgon by himself. The two drone on for some time, and just as you're about to do something about it, you hear a loud bang followed by the rush of boots from somewhere in the house. Gorgon grabs his battle axe and runs toward your hiding place. The other man runs to a door and leaves.
Okay, he's coming toward me with a battle axe. Doesn't seem like a good plan for me.
You need that warded ring on Gorgon. It would appear it's now or never. What do you do?
I don't have any mana.
Spring out with your dagger, button.
Great.
Lightning bolt, mana 4, button. Use firebolt, mana 2, button. Use firebolt, mana 2, lightning bolt, spring out with your dagger, button. You need that warded ring. Spring out with your
Spring
dagger.
out with my
Button.
a dagger to an axe fight? Oh god, this is so stupid.
You need that. The 2 drone on. You decide to wait. Life, 8, mana, 2, gold, 1,
Oh, we
morale,
have
11,
2
dim.
mana. We
Game
do have
stats.
2 mana. Maybe we can lightning bolt him.
You decide to wait. The 2 drone on. You need that warded ring on. Spring out with your dagger. Lightning bolt, mana 4, button.
No.
Use firebolt, mana 2, button.
Mana 2. Let's try to lightning bolt.
Use firebolt,
Firebolt,
mana
I'm
2, life, 5, mana, 0, gold, 1, morale, 14, dim. Morale increases 3.
Oh, wait, that was good.
Life, go back to previous show game menu, button, go back to life, 5, mana, 0, gold, 1, morale, 14, dim. Morale increases 3.
Morale went up.
Mana decreases 2. Life decreases 3.
Uh-oh.
You jump out of the shadows and throw the firebolt, striking him square in the chest. He screams in rage, and although the fire is spreading, he charges at you with his battle axe. You dodge, and he misses the first swing. However, he turns the axe back at you in no time and slashes your side.
Great.
You retreat from his slashing battle axe, behind a table. A few seconds later, he collapses.
Oh, good.
Without a moment to lose, you search Gorgon's hand for his warded copper ring, find it, and put it on.
Hey, nice.
Next, you cut the rope double knotted to the naked man's long hair, and he falls to the floor. You then run to the door that the square-jawed man had run through, but the door is now locked. You are trapped. Into the room stream several city guards, 3 with swords drawn and 2 more with crossbows at the ready. You hear more coming and you know that you are hopelessly outnumbered. You
Well,
drop your dagger and surrender.
I just saved this dude.
The guards waste no time. They throw you on the ground, search your body and bind your hands behind your back. He is a murderous sorcerer. You had best gag him, one of the guards says. Why take a chance, says another, and he hits you in the head with the hilt of his sword.
Asshole.
You wake on the cold stone floor of a cell. A balled-up rag has been shoved into your mouth and another strip is tied tightly around your head to keep the rag in place. Your hands have been tied behind your back and your legs bound together. After struggling in vain, you decide to make the best of a terrible situation and roll over to a pile of straw strewn over the far end of the cell. The straw smells of urine, but at least it's softer and warmer than lying on the stone. With nothing else to do, you go back to sleep. Continue, button.
Okay.
Continue, button, continue. Life, 9, mana, 7, gold, 1, morale, 14, dim. Mana increases 7.
Oh, my mana went up, though. That's really cool. Very good.
Life increases 4.
Okay, nice.
You are awakened at some point in the night by muffled, frightened shouts from somewhere in the dungeon. This is followed by gurgling and then, suddenly, nothing. What? What has gone on? You hear someone call in a trembling voice, presumably from another cell. There is no answer. It is beginning to rain. Drops of water come through the bars that overlook the street. There are wooden shutters on the inside to block the rain, but bound as you are, you cannot get up to shut them. An apple core lies on the floor nearby. Someone must have thrown it in through the bars earlier while you slept. Your stomach growls, but you leave the cast-off food. Eventually, you curl up on the straw and go back to sleep. When you next wake, sunshine is streaming through your barred window. Despite your disturbed and uncomfortable sleep, you feel somewhat refreshed. Now that you can see clearly, you look yourself over. You have been stripped down to your tunic and trousers. Your spellbook and gold is gone, as is the ring you took from Gorgon. Gorgon's charm won't help me now. Anyway, Asir is no longer required to find me. You reflect bitterly. Your self-pity is interrupted by the sound of footfalls. For a moment you fear your time is up, but when the cell door opens it is not the executioner you see, but a beautiful woman. Finally, the gods smile upon me. The woman has long blonde hair that frames large blue eyes and a delicate nose, ellipsis, and a scar that runs from her jaw down her neck. The scar is faint and only noticeable because her skin is otherwise flawless. When you can finally pull your eyes from her face, you see that she is wearing armor and a gold-colored cape that is customarily worn by clerics of Elathia, the goddess of protection. Such clerics are holy warriors skilled with armor and weapons. In addition, they can appeal to their patron goddess for modest gifts of divine aid, similar in some ways to your own magical spells. A guard stands behind her and appears to be staring at her rear. As though aware of his gaze, she turns her head slightly and says, "Leave us, please."
Yeah, stop looking at her ass.
The guard frowns. "There lies a wizard, my lady. He may strike using no more than a thought."
I have something in my mouth, dude.
"Doubtful," she answers, nodding to him. The guard stands for a moment, bows, and then leaves.
And you got my hands tied behind my back, so I'm peeing in my pants, so, yeah.
The cleric fixes her eyes on you. You try to smile, unsuccessfully, through the rag bound into your mouth. She chants a long prayer, all the while staring down at you as though weighing your soul. Upon finishing, she says, "I am Nerissa, a second disciple of Elathia. I shall undo your gag now. You will behave?"
Of course.
You nod vigorously. With the gag finally out of your mouth, you breathe easier and thank her. "Can you stand?" she asks. "I hope so," you say. "I agreed to not unbind you, but I would rather speak to a man on his feet," she says. With that, She pulls you up and soon you are standing, leaning against the wall.
She's pretty strong.
Your name is Anuxius, she asks. You nod. Although, many call me Ghost. Ghost, she repeats, thoughtfully. Just then, a whisper pushes down the hall. It sounds like a rapid string of words, but none that you recognize. Nerissa clutches her mace and looks about, searching.
Yeah, here comes the cultist. You better not be talking to me.
WC2 Nerissa.jpg. Image. The whisper dies as quickly as it arose. The two of you stand motionless, listening. Finally, you say, speaking of ghosts, ellipsis. You try to smile, but you're pretty sure it's a grimace. Nerissa watches you carefully for a long moment and then says, I am not sure you appreciate the gravity of the crimes you are being accused of. She is wrong about that. Having grown up in Ring City, you know very well what happens to those accused of murder, a gruesome, public execution.
Yeah, I know what we do. Probably be drawn and quartered.
You can appeal to her sense of empathy by asking for her help, or you can appeal to her sense of justice by denouncing how you have been treated.
Well, either one is a good course of actions.
Which tactic do you prefer? Ask for help somewhat pitifully. Button. Angrily denounce this injustice. Button. Angrily denounce this injustice.
I think we're going to denounce this injustice.
Reward. We're not gonna take it. Points. 1. Luck. 1 times 2 bonus equals 2 total. Sometimes it feels good to let it out.
No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. I just had to, I'm sorry, I had to sing that. I had to sing one of my favorite songs from the 80s. The very classic song.
Reward. We're not gonna take it. Points. 1. Luck. 1 times 2 bonus equals 2 total. Sometimes it feels good to let it out.
Nice.
Reward. We're not gonna take it. Life. 9. Mana. 7. Gold. 1. Morale. 15. Dim. Games. Morale increases. Life. 9. Mana. 7. Gold. 1. Morale. 15. Dim. Morale increases 1. An innocent man would not grovel. I have been accused of murdering my most dear friend. An outrage. Where is your goddess protection for an innocent man? You continue on with this rant for some time, partially because you are outraged, but also because you wish to put on a good show. A guilty man certainly could not rant with such conviction. You reason. Meanwhile, the cleric watches you patiently. When you are done, she asks you to tell her your story from the beginning. You start at the inn where Reginald was murdered, but Nerissa asks you to back up further, and so you tell her about your adventures in Castle Inverness, including the goblins, the evil priests, and the shadow beast that rose up from the sacrificial altar. She asks many questions, particularly about when you question Siba in the candle shop. After you finish your story, she is quiet for some time. Finally, she asks, it was Siba who slew Reginald?
Oh, I don't know.
Judging by the blood on her, you say, not by her own hand, of course. Bewitched or possessed. I questioned her, too, Nerissa says. She claims you killed him and that she tried to intervene, hence the blood on her. It is difficult to imagine such a woman doing that. Oh, certainly, she was merely the vessel, the puppet of an evil entity, you exclaim.
Oh, she was possessed.
Could there not be the same explanation for you? What do you remember of the night? I am no weak-willed plaything for evil. Reginald was a brother to me. This, I believe, Nerissa says as she stares into your eyes for a long moment. Finally, she waves a hand and says, but we are all toys of the powerful. To the gods, and lesser beings, too. She turns to leave and then stops. I apologize. The guards here are not as trusting as I am. She walks over and gently stuffs the rag back into your mouth. I will meditate on this and ask for Alathia's guidance, she says, and then leaves. Groaning into the rag, you sink back to the floor.
Well, at least she didn't tie it around my head, so unless she did everything back up. Doesn't sound like they said she put the whole gag back around my mouth. But if she did put the ball gag back in my mouth, then I guess this is again. At least you could have untied my feet so I can, But I get it, I'm a wizard. I can cast spells.
Time adds slowly as you lie helpless in the straw. Eventually, you cannot hold it any longer and you urinate in your trousers. Although humiliating, it is a relief and provides some welcome warmth down there. Unfortunately, it is not long before the wet turns against you, chilling your groin and leg. Sounds echo throughout the dungeon. Banging against metal, shouts from other prisoners, and a constant drip from somewhere near. Finally, you hear footsteps coming. You hope that it is Nerissa, here to set you free, or at least to provide you with some food and water. Your heart sinks when you see it is a guard stepping into your cell. He holds a lantern and stares down at you with a fixed expression. His face is flecked with blood. He pulls out a long, nasty dagger.
No, great. Awesome.
Continue. Button. Continue. Life. 9. Mana. 7. Gold. 1. Morale. 15. Dim. Rather than slitting your throat, he cuts the ropes that bind your wrists and legs. Needles stab you as the circulation returns to your extremities. Nevertheless, you stand up unsteadily.
Cool, good.
Your possessions, he says as he drops a sack at your feet. And this. It will unlock any portal between you and the outside. He hands you a key.
Oh, good. Looks like she might be freeing us, but we might be working undercover here.
You blink in disbelief. I am free then? Found innocent? He shakes his head mechanically. You are free until caught again. And I do not expect you will receive such kind treatment the second time around. Left bound and gagged without food or water was kind treatment. You think to yourself. Well, at least you were not outright hung. Go now. He waves to you and steps aside.
Well, we got our stuff back and can continue our adventure. Of course, knowing that if we get caught again, we're dead.
What do you do? On the one hand, you are being offered freedom and another chance at life. On the other, you will only be hunted again. And Nerissa seems sympathetic to you. She will not likely help you if you run again.
Oh, great. What if she does want to help us now? This is a hard choice.
Escape the dungeon. Button.
I don't have time to wait for her. I think I'm going to escape.
Stay put. Button. Stay put. Escape the dungeon. Button.
I'm just going to get out of here.
Escape the dungeon. Life, 9. Mana, 7. Gold, 1. Morale, 15. Dim. The key the guard gave you vibrates slightly each time you bring it to the keyhole of a new door, adjusting the key blade length and shape to fit the lock. Limundo's master key, you realize with an excited shock. Such a magical key will fit any non-magical lock. The story goes that long ago, Limundo, the great wizard, created such keys for his friends and family who were instructed to swallow their key if they were ever captured. Of course, over the centuries the keys began falling into unintended hands. The dungeon is deathly quiet, and when you reach the upper guard room, you see why. 2 guards are splayed out, face up on the floor, their entrails spilling out in a pool of blood. There are symbols scrawled all over the walls, reminiscent of the symbols you saw near slain Reginald.
More cultist stuff.
Navel spat you whisper in a mixture of surprise and fear. Now you think of the flecks of blood on the face of the guard who set you free. And here are the same symbols you saw near Reginold's body. Reginold's murderer is down there. A blur of questions run through your mind. Is it the murderer, or merely a good man possessed by an evil spirit? And if the murderer, why help you escape? Do you dare go back down there, or should you leave now before you are caught? After all, who do you suppose will be blamed for all of this?
Well, I don't know. I'm not covered in blood, so... but then again, this is medieval times, not exactly CSI level.
Go back. Button.
But I want to catch this murderer.
Leave now. Button. Leave now. Go back. Button.
I do want to catch the murderer, but we do need to get out of here. Let's get out of here while we can.
Leave now. Button. Leave now. Life, 9. Mana, 7. Gold, 1. Morale, 15. Dim. Your first priority is to not hang for something you haven't done, so you decide to get out of the barracks. The city outside is silent.
Well, we gotta escape first. Then we can go do all this hero stuff later.
It must be late. Ellipsis. Or everyone is dead, you think. You take a deep breath and try to think of where to go next. You have no idea.
Okay, here we go.
I will hide nearby and watch the barracks. There is only one exit, and whatever evil lurks inside may leave. You can then follow it.
Yeah, here we go.
You hide inside of a dark, narrow alley across from the barracks and you wait. After a few minutes, you see an inky blackness emerge through the closed door. It has what appears to be red glowing eyes.
Okay, there's a demon.
Like the shadow fiend from Castle Inverness, Ellipsis, you realize. The thing travels down one of the roads, hovering near the ground. Soon, you can barely see it travel away. However, street lanterns dim as the thing passes by them. Down the streets you run, stopping now and again to watch for the inky shadow while at the same time trying to keep a healthy distance. You are not sure what kind of senses the thing has. Perhaps outside of a human body it is nearly blind? Possibly, although you think you see eyes at one point, 2 faintly glowing holes in an otherwise inky blackness. Up ahead, there is a man lying on the side of the road, presumably passed out drunk. The thing seeps into him and the man suddenly picks himself up and begins a desperate, limping run.
Okay, so it possesses anything.
How long can the thing exist outside a body, you wonder? In any case, you are thankful to now have someone solid to keep track of and you follow as stealthily as you can. It is not long before you see a pair of guards up ahead. The guards turn at the sound of the man staggering up behind them. As they do this, the man collapses face first onto the street. The guards laugh and then resume walking. Inky blackness drifts after the guards, stalking them like a nightmare predator. You consider shouting a warning, but it is too late. The thing hovers over one of the guards, collects around him in a phantom embrace, and vanishes into his back. The guard jerks for a moment and his companion looks over at him curiously. You continue to follow at a distance, unsure of whether you should warn the other guard or not. What is the use? You decide. Finally. He would only think me a fool and, far worse, recognize me. The possessed guard points down an alley, urging his companion to lead the way. This cannot be good, you think to yourself. Soon, there is a cry from the alley that is cut short. You hurry to the entrance and look in. The alley is unlit, but the lantern of one of the guards is on the ground, broken, its burning oil spreading. Using a knife, the possessed guard is cutting away on the other one with a practiced motion, much like a butcher slaughtering an animal. His back is to you. What do you do?
We gotta stop this demon, but no matter what you do, you can't. I don't know how to hurt it, so...
Attack with dagger, button. Attack with spell, mana 2, button. Find help. Button. Stay hidden and watch. Button.
I think we attack.
Find help. Stay hidden and watch. Button. Find help. Attack with spell. Mana 2. Button. Attack with spell. Mana 2. Life. 9. Mana. 5. Gold. 1. Morale. 15. Dim. Mana decreases 2. Your firebolt strikes the guard square in the back and he becomes a ball of flame. The shadow emerges from the writhing, burning body like smoke, and it floats past you with a blast of cold. You pursue the thing, trying your best not to be noticed. Along the way, it possesses various people, leaping from one to another as though using them as its relay horses for a speedy journey.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Jalip, where are you running to? One woman shouts as her presumed husband sprints away down the street. Despite those being possessed looking like everyone else, you track it more easily, simply following anyone who suddenly starts acting strangely. Finally, a possessed young boy chased by his scolding mother stops short of the Temple of Eternal Love. Faintly, you can see the shimmering shadow leave the child and dissolve into the large double doors of the temple. Is this it, at last? The Fiend's lair? Having grown up in Ring City, you are familiar with all of the great landmarks. However, despite its size and grandeur, little is known about this temple or what goes on inside. In the rare event that members are seen, they seem to materialize out of nowhere, traveling in groups of 4 or more, wearing long yellow robes and smooth purple masks. As far as you know, no one has spotted anyone leaving the place, which has led to the children's story that there is a monster inside that eats all that enter. Given the name of the temple and the closely guarded privacy of its members, most adults believe the temple is merely a cult of promiscuity. Spurred on by this speculation when you were teenagers, you and Reginald had wanted to learn more about this temple and so you had once knocked on the front door. Nothing happened, but you remember an overwhelming feeling of dread. No one, not even city guards, go near it. Now what? I'd be mad to try to go in there after that thing. Ellipsis.
Well,
you wonder if it would be a good time to get help. If this is the Shadow's lair, and if the temple members are mixed up in the evil events of late, there's bound to be all sorts of wickedness inside for the city authorities to uncover. Should you go see the captain of the guard, Lord Winley? He will take you into custody, but you know him a little and maybe you could at least convince him to investigate the temple. Or what about Nerissa, the cleric? She seems like a devout soldier for good. On the other hand, you know that clerics hesitate to meddle with the followers of other gods. Such behavior, if unjustified, would likely displease her own goddess, Alathea.
no, that's another choice.
What do? Go it alone. Button.
I don't know. Sounds like a bad idea. Go it alone.
Seek help from Lord Winley. Button. Seek help from Nerissa. Button.
We seek help from Nerissa. She's going to be mad because a bunch of her guards were slain. Let's talk to this other dude.
Seek help from Nerissa. Seek help from Lord Winley. Button.
Let's talk to this dude. We know him.
Seek help from Lord Winley. Life, minus 91. Mana, 5. Gold, 1.
Oh,
Morale,
God.
15.
He
Dim.
killed us. That was a dumb move. Looks like we died.
Life decreases 100.
Oh. We must have gotten killed right there.
It is time to bring in some proper reinforcements. You decide. It takes some time to jog to the small fortress that serves as the guard headquarters for the 2nd Ring where Barrow, the captain of the guards for this district, resides with his family. The gate to the fortress is well lit by lanterns on both sides. There are arrow slits on either side of the double doors of the gate, as well as above. You pound on the doors, shouting who you are and that you are turning yourself in. Presently, you see movement behind the arrow slit nearest you. It is he, murderous fiend, kill him. No, you shout, but it is too late. A bolt from a crossbow flies out of the arrow slit and into your throat.
Great.
Alice, you finally succumb to your wounds and collapse. Skullsandsmoke.jpg. Image. Start over. Button.
Well, looks like we lost that one.
Last checkpoint. Button.
Well, we can start over, go last checkpoint. I think we're going to stop here for now. Obviously, we're going to have to do this entire mission by ourselves. We're going to stop here for now. That was fun. This is going to take a little bit more work to go through, but we will start over again. Let's go with...
Start over. Last checkpoint. Start over. Button.
No, we'll go last checkpoint.
Last checkpoint. Button.
We'll go last checkpoint.
Last checkpoint. Life, 12. Mana, 7. Gold, 1. Morale, 8. Dim. Night has fallen by the time you reach the district where Gorgon's gang is based.
Yeah, we'll start
Mala
here
did not
again.
know whether the Gorgon would be here or out elsewhere.
All right, so we'll start here next time and see if we can do a little bit better. I think we did really good. Of course, we have a little advantage now. We know that the were-rat is going to really get crazy, so we're going to have to hit that thing real hard. We know not to get any help. We're going to have to go into the temple by ourselves. So we'll try that next time and see how much farther we can get. But otherwise, the game's been really clean. The interface has been really clean. I've had a lot of fun. This is a little bit more of a narrative than it is an actual interaction. We're not making a lot of choices, but it's fine. It's nice to take a break and just hear a story, like listening to an audiobook. So we're going to go ahead and cut it right here, and we'll come back for the next part and see how much farther we can get. But that is it for us today, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you, MyNoise. Thank you all for becoming subscribers and listening to these videos. I appreciate you very much, and much kindness to all of you. And we'll come back again for another Wizard's Choice episode. Until then, folks, thank you very much. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll hear you next time. Take care.